Mark Hamill teases he's going to work his Star Wars Episode 9 films. That's the headline of this week's Force Friday show. And joining me as ever is Stephen to discuss all things Star Wars. What do you make of that one, Stephen? I'm very happy that he's coming in now.
Yeah, he's coming in very early, John. We're only a month into filming, and this report comes from cnet.com in regards to a little tweet that Mark Hamill put out. He's no stranger to Twitter. Absolutely loves the platform.
Love that photo, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great account as well. If you're following it, Hamill himself. Basically, he's just saying, I've always loved the irony of the Americans celebrating Labour Day by not working. Speaking of irony, I'm posting this a day early because at the moment I'm not in the good old USA, and tomorrow, wait for it, I have to go to work.
I have to go to work every day, Mark.
You know, I think the likes of Mark Hamill, he's always going to be associated to and everything with Star Wars. He could mean he is doing some other project, but I don't think, no disrespect to Mr. Hamill, but I don't think he would be going out his way to tweet about that if it was anything else. He had a little part in Kingsman, the first movie. I don't remember him making a big announcement about that. No. Or his voice work as a Joker. He doesn't really play on his sort of followers in that sense unless it is Star Wars related. So I do believe that this is Star Wars related. He's back on set, which is a relief because I think after The Last Jedi there was a lot of talk that he wouldn't be returning, that he kind of fell out of love with Star Wars. I don't mean that in a bad way with the way that Episode 8 went. I think it was more to do with the passing of Carrie Fisher. He knew he wasn't going to be working with Harrison Ford again, and it's quite sad in a way, but this is great news. He's in early doors. Let's get his stuff in the can. How prominent he's going to be in this episode, who knows? We do know he's going to be a Force Ghost though.
Yes, he definitely is going to be a Force Ghost, unless he survives, Stephen. It was all a major bluff. That's why the metal didn't hit the ground, that rock, the mosaic. I don't know. I hope it is. I hope he isn't a Force Ghost. I hope he's still alive, because I want to see Luke alive with the green lightsaber. But as we did say before we came on, Stephen, there's always a chance that you could pop up with all the other Force Ghosts. Maybe they've had a high school reunion off in some Force-centric planet, and they've decided we're going to turn up and save the day. We're going to help Rey because she needs it for a change, and maybe then he ignites his green lightsaber. I don't know, it's all speculation, but what's not speculation is the fact that Marky Boy is definitely coming back for Star Wars. This isn't about some obscure B-movie or an animated DC film. This is definitely Star Wars he's talking about. I like that hashtag enjoy your barbecues, barbecuties. Incidentally, he's always got away with words, as Mark. Got away with talking as well. Love that Simpsons picture. I mentioned it briefly, but I really do love that Simpsons style picture. I remember that episode when they popped up in The Simpsons. I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm not talking about The Simpsons. But yeah, in regards to this announcement, I'm pleased that he is coming in so early. I don't know, how long has it been? 2 weeks, a month they've been filming? It's not long anyway. It's a long time to go in the production. I would have thought maybe another 6-7 months. So this tells me he's got a sizable role, if nothing else. Whether it's going to be mentoring Rey as a Force Ghost, helping her rear a new generation of Jedi, or whether he's going to be actually getting hands-on and helping her fight. I really do hope that what Rian Johnson set in place in The Last Jedi with Yoda being able to manipulate the physical surroundings, also striking lightning onto the tree. I hope this is something that's now becoming a mainstay in Star Wars. Certainly they did say that because Act 2 was such a force, a strong place with the Force, that was why he was able to manipulate it, because he could tap into that force, much like they say ghosts can tap into places of high electrical activity. I hope that's not the case, so I hope they've now set in stone some new canon with the Force. We've got some new ability where they can tap into the Force anywhere they want. Certainly if any Force Ghost could do it, it would be Luke Skywalker, because as he did display at the end of The Last Jedi, the most powerful Jedi we've seen to date in this canon, the ability to transport himself across or project himself across an entire galaxy, that is very impressive. So if any Force Ghost could manipulate the physical surroundings, it would be him. I don't know whether that's going to be the case though. I don't know what direction they've got in mind for him, but as I did say, the fact he's coming on so early in production is very promising to me. And as you says as well, Stephen, it's not like they have to worry about him giving any details away. This guy is just the master at holding secrets. I'm not surprised JJ It's got him on so early because he can hold a secret. He's not going to give anything away. There's no worries there. Your mystery box is safe, JJ. And yeah, very pleased about it. I'm glad to see he's coming back. You did say, Stephen, a lot of people were concerned he might not come back. He seemed a little bit disenfranchised a few months back, talking about how it's not the same. The old gang ain't there. Carrie's away. Harrison's away. It's not like it used to be. Well, tough, Mark. Get in there. I want to see Luke in another Star Wars film. And as he also says, it's absolutely key that they get this character right in this film for the legacy of a sequel trilogy, because if you get it wrong, it's dead to me.
Yeah, I think that's the sentiments of a lot of Star Wars fans, John. If it wasn't for the James Gunn scandal, I would have probably assumed this might have been something to do with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. There was obviously early chat of that earlier in the year with Mark Hamill and James Gunn having barbecues, funnily enough. I think they are neighbours. Yeah, but just I digress, John. The thing about The Last Jedi and Mark Hamill's participation in that, he definitely wasn't the issue of that movie. No. And regardless of how his character was handled, he was probably still the best thing in the movie. That scene on Act 2 with Rey, when he's talking about Darth Sidious and the history of the Jedi and stuff like that, it was very interesting to hear that. It was the first time I heard the original characters referring to the words like the Sith, talking about Darth Sidious, and it was kind of links to the prequels, which I quite enjoyed actually. And obviously the scenes with Carrie Fisher as well at the very end were very touching. Some of the battle scenes outside on Crate as well, with Luke and Kylo Ren, was quite good as well. A lot of people didn't like the fact that it was force projecting, but I have came to terms with it. I mean, you've just got to accept it. It's part of the story now, and the scenes are quite memorable in that sense. It's not the way I would have liked it to have been, but you just got to take it for what it is and try and take the best out of it. As I said, Mark Hamill certainly wasn't the problem in that. He's a terrific actor. The character of Luke Skywalker apparently is actually the third most popular character in the Star Wars franchise according to Empire. I don't know if you've seen this, John.
I didn't.
Number one is Han Solo.
No.
I like Harrison Ford, I like Han, I think, but he's a very one-dimensional character. Yeah. Apart from being a scoundrel and then kind of changes his mind, I think that's the only time you actually see him coming out of his two-dimensional self. Number two is Darth Vader, of course, and then it's Luke Skywalker, which I kind of disagree. I would maybe mix them up a little bit for that top three. I'd have them in the top three, but I wouldn't have it in that order. Yeah, but Mark Hamill, I'm pretty sure we're going to see more tweets like this as the months roll forward. I'm glad to see that he is on board this early on. I don't know what that means, if he's going to have a prominent role in it. They always said that the original cast were only going to be supporting, but I think the sense realised that these characters are much loved, and I'm pretty sure if Carrie Fisher was still around, we know that she is going to appear in archival footage. Thankfully, there is stuff in the vaults that they can use to keep her character and her memory alive. But I did accept very early on that these characters were going to play second fiddle to the new cast. But at the same time, I don't think they really fleshed out those new characters that well in the last two movies. At this point, we really should know them a lot better than we do. But I digress. I think this is going to be, a trend from Hamill himself on Twitter over the coming months. And I think that's the Millennium Falcon just in Docking Bay 94 just now. Some kind of noise outside there, but yeah, it's one of those tweets that I like to see from Hamill, and I'm looking forward to more of these to come.
Yes, we're on Hoff, Stephen. That's the Empire just touching down, and we're having to scuttle. But yeah, I mean, the final thing I'll say on this topic is I completely agree. He wasn't the problem with The Last Jedi by any means. Certainly it was just the writing in general and some of the choices he made for the script. I really do want to see him having a prominent role, even if it is as a Force Ghost, because this will make or break a trilogy for me. The way they've handled the legacy characters, it's not been good enough. JJ's got a chance to redeem that by giving him a prominent and meaningful role. Don't agree at all with that Empire poll, incidentally. You wouldn't have seen Luke Skywalker getting frozen in a carbonite chamber. He wasn't a gimp like Han. I love Han, incidentally, but no, he flipped up out of that carbonite chamber and he says, "No, bitch, I'm not getting frozen." He did lose a hand, but perhaps to Darth Vader. I'll have Luke at number 1, Darth second, and Han third. But we're not talking about that. We're moving on to the next topic, and it's all about Disneyland selling booze at the new Star Wars attraction. A first for the park, incidentally. They're going to begin to sell alcoholic beverages from next year, the first time since opening in 1955, through the Star Wars themed August Cantina. It's also the landmark theme park in Anaheim, California, and this is apparently going to serve libations for adults, which will include pre-mixed cocktails. The cantina is part of the Star Wars Edge Galaxy expansion that opens in 2019. Doesn't mean much to me, Stephen, because I'm never going to have the money to be able to go to California and enjoy this myself. But as I did say, old Walt's cryogenically frozen head will be turning in its chamber just now. What are they doing to my bloody theme park? Apparently still walks the theme park. There's been images of his ghost floating around, so someone's going to be getting haunted. I don't know who, I don't care, it's not me. If he wants to come and haunt me, I'll slap him down. But yeah, very interesting. I did say to you, Stephen, I don't think the Harry Potter fans will be very happy, because I can't remember what the name is. I'll find it when I let you in. There's a Hogsmeade, I believe it is, inn they've recreated in the Harry Potter section of the theme park, and they get served non-alcoholic versions of a drink, so they'll be kicking up a fuss.
Yeah, make mine a Java just, John. Yeah, this story's quite interesting in its own way, I suppose. Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of once in a lifetime opportunities for us chaps here in the UK if we're ever fortunate to get over to the US to visit this theme park. I certainly would love to go. I've seen over the last few months the development of this part of the park, and it's looking very impressive. But this, selling alcoholic beverages, it's really just moving with the times, really. I think our football here, soccer, is starting to realise that culture is changing. Certainly in this neck of the woods where we're no stranger to alcohol, and how it's abused. But I think society is maturing in that sense. The certain elements aren't, but I think it's going to attract more families into the park as well. Certainly, I don't think it's going to do anything. It's going to diminish the crowds going into the park either. It's going to have obviously both alcoholic and non-alcoholic cocktails, as well as proprietary beer. I think there'll be a lot of Star Wars related beverages and stuff like that, because as we know, Obi-Wan I think that chap liked a good drink. He certainly liked hanging out in cantinas.
I needed a good drink as well, Stephen. If I was stuck on a desert planet looking after a sprocket, I didn't even know my name. Yeah,
he certainly did like a drink, but he didn't like the Death Sticks. But no, it's not much of a story, to be honest with you. This came in from Variety.com, but I think it's more of people that just want to know all the little tidbits of what's happening with the park, and this is a little tidbit. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, that drink I was talking about from the Harry Potter themed place was butterbeer. Shame on you, John. I'm a big fan of Harry Potter and I didn't even remember that. Incidentally, I've made my own concoction of that. Very, very nice indeed. Wasn't alcoholic, sadly. Java juice, yeah, I would very much like a Java juice. I do wonder if one of the non-alcoholic beverages will be the famous boy milk, because I would certainly, if I ever get the opportunity to go over there, green milk, I wouldn't want to drink that, no. Not straight from the teat either. But if I do ever get to go over to this place, I would like to try a boy milk. Certainly some of the drinks they've been fleshing out in the canon books and novels sound very intriguing, sound very strong. Certainly Ben Kenobi was a man of my own heart. I don't like Death Sticks either, but I do like a good whiskey and I like a good German wheat beer, so I will drink with Obi-Wan any time if I could get the opportunity. I can't, he's a fictional character. But yeah, as you did say, very interesting little tidbit, Stephen, just fleshing out more about this park. Certainly the photos that have been coming up in recent months showing the progression of them expanding this out, the little models, looks absolutely incredible. I did see one of a shuttle, I think, perched on a platform. It's incredible the way they're going to build this, shots of the X-Wings, full scale, getting put out. It'll be a real experience for a Star Wars fan to go over and see this place. Certainly hope I don't bump into Walt Disney's ghost if I ever do get a chance to go over, because that's a guy I don't get on well with. in terms of political opinions. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next topic, Stephen, and it's an exclusive from Collider.com, and it's them fleshing out with character cards, revealing the team, Fireball, BB-8 and more. Extra details about Resistance. It's a little 3-minute video, and it goes through all the different members of this new group. We've got Kaz, obviously. But it's an interesting little video. I would encourage anybody that's not seen it to hop over and give it a bash. It shows you some of the characters, which I don't know much about. I did say that last week when we were talking about it. One of them, I believe, is Yiga. Tam, played by Susan McGrath. We've got Niku. It's that green alien that I didn't know anything about. Get a very cool jacket. I believe it was him that had the jacket. And it goes through in depth all the new tidbits of information about this new show, which is dropping very soon. If indeed it hasn't already dropped, I don't know. 7th of October, we're a month away still. So, interesting little video again, fleshing out this new series.
Yeah, there's not much more to say than that, John. It's a 3-minute clip that's on YouTube, and it really does give you some little tidbits from the executive producers, some of the voice actors out there. It's a good way of kind of familiarising yourself with the characters before going into this. As you said, we're still a month away from this. I think we were talking about some of the stuff last week in regards to the posters and stuff like that, and I think between now and Sunday, October 7th, when it premieres on the Disney Channel, I think we're going to get a lot more now. Just saw a little clip of, I think it might have been General Leia, if I wasn't mistaken there, but yeah, certainly General Leia there. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing this series. I enjoyed Rebels, I enjoyed Clone Wars, but something about the look of this I much prefer. It's more anime inspired. Yeah. It's not full on anime, but I do like the look of it. It's certainly a step in the right direction. I think the Clone Wars and Rebels were very similar in the style they were animated in, but this is a fresh approach. I like the period it's going to take place in as well, and it's good to see the likes of we're going to get Gwendolyn Christie back. I'm not sure if Oscar Isaac's coming back to do the voice of Poe or not. I'm not sure.
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is.
Well, that's good to know as well. But yeah, it's a great little video. Kind of gives you a bit of life to the voices behind these characters as well. It's always interesting to see the voice actors portraying these characters as well, and giving them some recognition. So it's a nice little video. I think we're going to see a lot more over the next few weeks in the build up to this. We're still about maybe 5-6 weeks away from the premiere anyway, so a lot of time to absorb some more information in regards to this new Star Wars animated series, Resistance.
Yeah, it's the final thing I asked, Stephen, is it shows you the likes of the new executive producers, because we did hear that Dave Filoni was taking a step back from the day-to-day workings, the likes of Afena, Yvette Portillo. She did say we did get a brief little shot of Princess Leia in hologram, or holographic form. I think it's hologram. Pretty sure it's hologram. And then you get the likes of Niku, and it's amazing seeing how they're putting these characters together. It looks like little foam or clay models, and just the way it all comes together. And it's fantastic seeing the passion from the producers, the writers, and also the voice actors involved. As you did say, it shows you an insight to who's voicing these characters, and it's always very intriguing seeing how these things work. I love that about Star Wars. That's what I love about Star Wars Celebration, the panels. It shows you how they go through the design and the visual effects and stuff. Very fascinating. But we're moving on to the final topic. That was a short and sweet one, and it's all about Anakin's moment in Revenge of a Sith, exposing how similar Jedi and Sith are. This basically is an article from The Express, who do love Star Wars, and it's all about a fan on Reddit rewatching the finale to the prequel trilogy and noting a stark similarity between the behaviour of Palpatine and Mace Windu. And indeed, this article then goes through and highlights through timestamps and stuff the incredible similarities between those two films. It's eerie. It's like the exact moment Vader's dying or being burnt on the pyre. You've got Padme dying whilst giving birth. Things like that. Luke talking to Anakin as he's passing away. He's now redeemed, still in the suit in the Death Star. Mirroring a moment in Jedi as well. So it's very interesting. Again, it jumps into what Lucas always says. Star Wars is like poetry, it's symmetry, and it kind of a reworks round, and we see history repeating itself time and time again.
Yeah, that's real life, John, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. This is something that a lot of people kind of slag George Lucas for, but I think he's got it down to a T, especially in those scenes you described there. I thought it was always clever for what you might think of the prequels. Those closing sequences where you've got Anakin dying, Padme is dying, you've got the birth of the twins, but at the same time the birth of Darth Vader, and this is all happening simultaneously. A lot of people maybe find that very obvious, but I thought it was quite clever the way it was done. And you're right, the perspectives of the Sith and the Jedi are better explained in the prequels than any of the other trilogies. Yeah. That is one thing I will say, because of the time of the events, they really did go into it a lot. The word Sith wasn't even used in the original trilogy. It was the dark side and that was it. There wasn't the light either. They never really used that phrase. But yeah, it's an interesting article, and some of it does state the obvious, and sometimes it's, you know, when you read it does remind you just how cleverly written, you know, the saga, the original 6-movie saga was. Executed is a different thing, how it was directed, but you can't fault the writings. And the story, the plot of the prequel trilogy, and how it leads up to the original trilogy. For those 6 parts, I think they all connect well in that sense. The jury's still out in the sequel trilogy. It's a little bit disjointed because of J.J. Abrams did have, you know, a sort of backstory in mind for the 3 movies, which was kind of retconned by Rian Johnson in the middle of it, which didn't... A bit mad doing that, to be honest with you. A lot of stuff was set up for the second part of the trilogy, which could still be redeemed in the third one, I suppose. But yeah, I digress. This is a great little article. It's good to see the likes of, you know, it mentions after Anakin kills Dooku, Palpatine says he's too dangerous to be kept alive. Anakin replying, "That's not the Jedi way." And then later on in the movie, we see Mace Windu trying to kill Palpatine, and it does echo that same line, he's too dangerous to be kept alive. And Anakin says again, it's not the Jedi way. Little things like that. It's surprising that a film that's now 13-year-old, I never really picked up on that. It's so obvious as well. Yeah. But as I said, it's an article that does state the obvious, but it does remind you sometimes there's little things in there that you probably didn't pick up the first time round. I'm saying the first time round, I've seen Revenge of the Sith more than once, and I certainly didn't really take notice of that till now.
Yeah, that's something I always enjoyed about the prequel trilogies, out with the horrendous dialogue and just the forced romance between Anakin and Padme. One thing, as you did say, you can't really criticise George for is the overarching story and the writing through that. I didn't mind the politics in it at all. Some people didn't like the political side of Star Wars, and it didn't bother me that much. And you see it here, the intelligence and the way he handled some of the stories, the way it did mimic elements of the original trilogy, not just with the story, but just general scenes as well, just mimicking. And we've seen that throughout Star Wars, and it's certainly something that's been badly lacking in the sequel trilogy. I say that, it's not really, it was lacking in The Last Jedi to an extent, but I have seen certain things mirroring as well in that, but it's not as nuanced and complex as it was in the prequel trilogy, and that's because that was the creator himself handling that. And you do, as you said, Stephen, of those 2 quotes, it's not the Jedi way and that he's too dangerous to be kept alive. That's showing you the similarity between not just the films, but the Jedi and the Sith as well. It's very nuanced and complex. And that was the actual moment where Anakin realised the only thing separating the two was a certain point of view, which was also a famous line from Ben Kenobi or Obi-Wan, from a certain point of view. So that was very cool as well, the way you miss the complexity sometimes in these films. Of the way, I mean, that was a criticism of those films, the way Anakin was handled, he's turned to the dark side, but you do see there that it was a little bit more complex if you look under the surface. He's noticing things that have been said to him and he's picking up on it and realising that, screw it, I might as well follow the dark side, there's not much of a difference anyway, and this way I'll get to see Padme. Obviously it didn't turn out that way in the end. But yeah, it was an interesting little article, Stephen, as you did say. All those little mimicking moments, I can't lie, I didn't realise there was time stamps that were perfectly symmetrical in the way that they played out. Obi-Wan standing over the pre-buff Padme, mimicking the exact moment that Luke stands over Vader during his passing. Just things like that. That's very, very cool. I didn't realise that was the case. And again, it just speaks volumes for George's handling of the prequel trilogy. I think more people are beginning to realise that these films and the overarching story it was told isn't as bad as many first thought. But I'm gibbering away here, Stephen. I've not got much more to add to that. It was a very short little tidbit of a story. Unless you've got something else to come in with, that will bring up the end of this week's episode of the Force Friday show, where we talk all things Star Wars. We'd just like to thank you for listening to us once again, and we'll be back next Tuesday with Box Office Chat.
Remember guys, if you enjoyed that episode, then do hit that like button, comment below, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. If you want to follow us on social media for all the latest updates from Movie Burner Entertainment, then we can be found on Twitter and Facebook at Movie Burners. You can also listen to us on Google Play and iTunes at the Movie Burner Podcast. And last but not least, if you want to access all the latest written reviews and the occasional article, then that can be found on our website at movieburnerentertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.